I just wanted to start off by saying thank you to my colleagues and my former colleague, now County Executive Elrich, who's always been supportive of this type of legislation that essentially ensures that we're protecting so many of our residents. Each year, approximately 400 Americans die from unintentional carbon monoxide poisoning, and more than 20,000 end up visiting emergency rooms, and 4,000 are hospitalized due to carbon monoxide poisoning. The reality is that unfortunately we've lost members of our own Montgomery County community to carbon monoxide poisoning over the years. And it's something that, with so many deaths in this county, are preventable. And so the best way to protect yourself from carbon monoxide poisoning is by installing and maintaining, making sure it's up to date and that it's working, a carbon monoxide detector or CO detector that will sound an alarm before the gas is built up enough so that they can make you succumb to this. Keep in mind that, especially as we head into the winter months, 43% of fatalities from engine-driven tools, people who use portable generators, people who use gas heaters inside their homes that are the portable ones, all those kinds of things emit this carbon monoxide. And so it's really important that we're vigilant about this and keep ourselves aware and keep us and our families protected. In 2018, the Montgomery County Council passed Bill 23-18, the Carbon Monoxide Alarm Law, to promote carbon monoxide safety, education, and awareness due to the serious danger that carbon monoxide poses to our residents. And so, again, want to thank all of my colleagues, especially thank the chief. He'll talk a little bit about what his troops do and how they've had to monitor carbon monoxide for themselves to keep our firefighters safe. But let me turn it over to County Executive Elrich for some remarks, and then on to our chief. Thank you, Mr. County Executive.
Thank you. So it's good to be back here talking about this again, since we passed our legislation a number of years ago, and I want to thank Craig for taking the lead on that. I just want to emphasize that this time of year and this season, this becomes more of a problem. We have many families that are struggling, as we know, to pay bills right now. And in the winter, when it gets cold, the easiest way to minimize your bill is to heat a room rather than heating your entire apartment, and sometimes with a gas heater. Using a gas heater that's not properly ventilated inside of a closed room is a problem, and it's going to lead to more deaths. And we're especially concerned, given what's happening with rents in the community, that people may opt to save money on their gas bills by using these small heaters. So this is especially important this year, and we have to let people know that this is not a good way to save money. And I just want to emphasize that, because we are in difficult times for a lot of families. We're seeing it in people coming into the county asking for assistance, and we want to be sure they don't do something that endangers them while they try to keep warm. And the county does have assistance programs to help people who are struggling to meet their bills, as do the utilities. So before one turns to this, it would be preferable if they try to get the assistance they need to keep themselves safe. Other than that, I think that's the most important message I wanted to get out this morning, is that you have a choice and you can do this safely. Please do that. This will kill people. Be especially vigilant of your own appliances. Whether if your gas heater goes out or your pilot goes out on your stove, you need to be aware of that, because all those things could put you at risk of carbon monoxide poisoning. So I'll stop there, and I guess the chief.
Thank you, County Executive Elrich. Carbon monoxide is identified as the silent killer. Colorless, odorless, there is nothing that human can sense or determine that there's carbon monoxide presence in your house. That is what makes this legislation, what makes the presence of a carbon monoxide alarm so critical and such a savior to folks when they're most vulnerable. As both the executive and Councilmember Rice outlined, the uptick in use of portable heat devices, anything that's added through a fireplace or heaters, even using your stove or cooktop as an alternative heat source, that all translates into a rise as the weather gets cold. Anything that produces a blue or orange flame, anything that has a visible flame, blue or orange, has the opportunity to produce carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is the byproduct or a derivative of incomplete combustion of a natural gas or a fossil fuel. Additionally, one of the very important things that was written into this law is enclosed vehicle parking spaces, garages, by general description. Again, car exhaust contain carbon monoxide. And if you have a residence, single family, multi-family, where there's an enclosed car parking spot, a garage with a closed door, an accidentally left running vehicle producing carbon monoxide will overcome the family members, the residents in that house, and has been an example in our community before. So it's very important if you have appliances that use carbon monoxide producing appliances, blue or orange flame, natural gas, propane, or wood material, raw wood materials, pellets, a fuel stove, or you have an enclosed car parking area. The law outlines that you need to have this silent sentry present and helping you. As Councilmember Rice outlined, these things have a service life, just like our smoke alarms do. Some of them are available in the 10-year sealed battery as well as smoke alarms are. And they are there because when you are asleep at night, you're your most defenseless. You're going to be the most impacted by a leaking carbon monoxide. The frequency of our crews being called for somebody who has flu-like symptoms, because that's one of the first traits of somebody calling, saying that they're feeling sick, that they have a flu-like symptoms, and don't know why. We walk in with our EMS bags, our first aid equipment, and on all of our EMS equipment, there's a silent, we call it a canary detector, but a detector on each of our EMS bags specifically for carbon monoxide. We will walk in to your house and greet you and talk to you about your flu-like symptoms, and our alarm will start going off on our bag. And that is our first indications that there's a problem in this structure. And we will then engage, bring different detectors in, and that is what we have found, both in calls for service, as well as just going into different commercial establishments. We've had crews walk into a facility and their alarm goes off, and nobody in that facility knew anything about a problem there. Where folks can get those, as the executive outlined, rental assistance as well as utility paying assistance, 311. Reach out to 311 if you're a resident in the county and you need to have a carbon monoxide alarm. 311 will come out, we'll help you install, help you get carbon monoxide alarm so that you're protected and that you can have that peace of mind of having that great detector. So this legislation just continues what the county started 43 years ago when we did smoke alarms back more than a minute ago, but it's a great thing to help our community. So thank you both.
Thank you very much, Chief. So I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation. It says, whereas carbon monoxide is a colorless, odorless, poisonous gas, commonly known as the silent killer, that can be fatal for humans and animals and typically leaks from faulty, improperly used, or incorrectly vented fuel-burning appliances such as furnaces, stoves, water heaters, fireplaces, or from generators used indoors when power outages occur and after severe weather. And whereas more than 400 people die in the United States every year as a result of accidental carbon monoxide poisoning, many of whom mistake the initial symptoms for the flu, which includes headaches, dizziness, shortness of breath, fatigue, and nausea. And whereas the County Council unanimously passed Bill 2318, requiring existing single-unit, two-unit, and townhouse dwellings to install carbon monoxide alarms outside sleeping areas and on every level of the home effective July of 2019, thus expanding the scope of homes required to install the life-saving device. And whereas this additional protection is a result of a cross-agency collaboration and support from organizations such as Montgomery County Fire and Rescue, Department of Permitting Services, multiple housing associations, who have all committed their unique resources to educating residents and preventing the loss of life from carbon monoxide poisoning. Now, therefore, do we, Mark Elrich as our county executive, Gabe Albornoz as our council president, and myself, hereby proclaim November of 2022 as Carbon Monoxide Awareness Month in Montgomery County, Maryland, and urge all residents to test their carbon monoxide detectors at least once a year and ensure their gas appliances are working properly and vented correctly. And for those who don't have a carbon monoxide detector, please make sure to get one. Signed this first day of November in the year 2022.